Oh, this is all dry. Relatively dry. Turning towards the northwest, the Makaha tracking station. That's a remote radar site. It's part of Barking Sands. This is all set aside as a hunting area down here, Kokea State Park, and what they hunt are 3 animals: feral pig, feral goat, and then black-tailed deer. Now the first 2 animals, it's pretty much open season on them. They're considered nuisance animals here, but the deer are managed as a hunting resource. They have a hunting season, and you are issued a tag and all of that. It works just like the mainland. Those deer were brought in from the Pacific Northwest, and they were seeded here in the early 1960s. Now, they don't really do that kind of thing anymore, where they'll bring animals in from other places. That's just not considered something, that's considered environmentally unsound. There always seems to be unintended consequences, and you can see the effects of the addition of deer. There was already an overgrazing issue, but the deer just added to the problem in the form of overgrazing. See it all in through here. Alrighty folks, here we go, the Napali Coast, the Pali or Napali, which means the cliffs in Hawaii. So no cars, no roads on this side of the island. The only access to this side of the island is by watercraft. Nu'ulola Valley right side, right underneath us, this narrow valley called Avapuhi. There is a hike that goes right out onto the ridge line here, this precipice where you see the people standing. That is a near 2,000 foot drop on either side. Brody wants to play chicken with me.
Let us break bread together on our knees. Let us break bread together on our knees. When I fall on my knees, with my face to the rising sun. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Let us drink wine together on our knees. Let us drink.
Now these valleys, all these valleys occupied by the early Hawaiians up through about the mid-1800s. This little section off our left side is called Milali'i. It's where they launched their canoes. It's also where they received visitors via canoe. You can see there aren't a whole lot of places to launch a canoe along the shoreline here, this being the most rugged portion of the island. Right side of the aircraft, though, you can see where they utilized a set of terraces in this valley that to hold back the soil and the moisture. By utilizing terracing, they were able to increase the amount of land they could bring into cultivation. So they were fairly sophisticated farmers. They would grow things like taro, perhaps sweet potatoes, sugarcane in these little valleys. Not a large group of folks, estimated the population to be about 5,000 to 7,000. Now the first beach we get to off the right side is called Honopu, and you can see there is a rock arch that goes up over the beach. It's called the Honopu Sea Arch, about 60 feet high, connects the two halves of the beach. This is where they shot scenes with Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean. On Stranger Tides, the escape scene towards the end of the movie, 6 Days, 7 Nights, where Anne Hesh and Harrison Ford are being chased by the pirates. Pirates are shooting at them, and they escape by running through the arch. There you go, left side now. How many have seen the 1977 version of King Kong, the one with Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange and Charles Grodin? All those scenes where Jessica Lange is rolling around on the beach giggling and laughing, and Jeff Bridges is taking pictures of her. That was shot right down there on that beach. That's the movie where Charles Grodin gets stomped on by King Kong at the end. He goes, ah, like that. Ah. When I saw that, I thought, that's what you get for leaving your wife with Sybil Shepherd in The Heartbreak Kid. Tell I'm a movie buff. I like my movies. Alright, go ahead.
Have you ever seen whales up here?
Oh yeah, whales. Next beach up is called Kalalau Beach. This is where the main campground is located. It's also where the trail ends. The Kalalau Trail starts up at K'e, goes along the shoreline here for 11 miles to Kalalau. Now the park is closed due to the heavy rainfall that occurred last April. That was over by Hanalei. That's where a lot of the damage occurred. In fact, when we get up there, I'll point it out, the spot where the landslide occurred. There were actually a couple of landslides. Going into Kalalau Valley now, just a little ways in here. We'll do a little turn so Dan and Joy can see the beaches again when we exit the valley. This was where most of the people lived, and you can see why. This is where most of the usable land. Now you notice all the bare reddish colored soil. That is caused by overgrazing. Now I know it sounds mean, but they need to shoot the goats. Sorry, but I can't say it any other way. They are responsible for this. Yeah. They shoot them. They're not native, and they just cause a lot of this soil to get eroded, and it ends up here in the ocean, and it destroys the reef. And I'm a goat lover. I like goats.
Is that fried or grilled?
Yeah, I like them grilled usually, barbecue. My wife thinks they're stinky. Her family raised goats, so whenever I go over to visit her, I'd always pick a fight with one of the goats, the males in there, and he'd try to butt me, and I'd have a little fight with him with his horns. You don't let him get any headway. If you let him get some headway, some steam, they'll knock you right out. So it's kind of like dealing with a bull, you know. But my wife would get mad at me. Leave that goat alone. So see if we see whales, Tina. The whales usually showing up right around in this area here. This is pretty shallow here, so it's going to be a little bit further out. So I'll set up a turn. We'll go wide. We'll do a turn up here. We saw a few earlier, but only on one flight did we actually see whales. These are the humpback whales, and they spend like about 4 months in the Hawaiian waters, 5 months, right around there in the Hawaiian waters. They come here to calve, have their babies, and also mate, and so spend some time here. They don't eat while they're here. There's not food in the